So as of February 2020, the auto-scouting feature has now been added to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. You'll now have a new option on your starting scout to send them off to explore the map for you. It's not perfect at its job. For example, it doesn't tend to actually go out of its way to find your opponent's base, but unlike human players, it will never get distracted and it will never stop scouting. One thing about auto-scouting is the AI is always going to follow a similar pattern, so it's more consistent than human players. Which means, just for a bit of fun, we can race the Scout Cavalry and the Eagle Scout directly against each other to see which one can finish exploring the map first. The Scout Cavalry has a speed stat of 1.2 and 4 line of sight, while the Eagle Scout has 1.1 movement speed and 5 line of sight. So for this race, I've set up 2 identical copies of an Arabia map, and the winner will be the first scout to explore 95% of the map. The reason it's 95% instead of something like 99% is because the Auto Scout has an unfortunate tendency of getting a little bit screwed up when there's only 1 or 2 patches left to explore. To win the race, the Eagle Scout needs a score of 1119, whereas the Scout Cavalry needs a score of 1121. At that score, 95% of the map will have been explored. The reason we know is because for every 1% of the map you explore, you get 10 extra points, and the reason they have different targets is because at the start of the game, the Scout Cavalry is worth 2 extra points compared to the Eagle Scout. There's nothing else happening on the map, so the scores here are going to be based purely on how much of the map has been explored. Now you may notice that I have hidden the Scout's score here. I could lie and say that I've done that to build suspense, but the reality is I kinda messed up the first recording, so the score is going to pop up towards the end. But as you can see, in the end it's a pretty decisive win for the Eagle Scout. Now that might have just been a one-off fluke, so let's try a second race on a larger map. Just to spice things up, we're going to throw in a Mongol Scout Cavalry as well, because they start off with a bonus +2 to their line of sight, so they pretty much get the best of both worlds. This particular map is a medium-sized map which is meant for 4 players, and once again we're going for the Arabia map. And the reason for that is that while there are obstacles on the map, there won't be any massive patches of trees or giant pools of water or anything like that that could potentially throw everything off. And as you can see, things are actually playing out pretty differently here. The Mongol Scout is ahead as expected, but as of the 15-minute mark, the Scout Cavalry is comfortably ahead of the Eagle, which shows that at the start of any game, you can't necessarily rely on the Eagle to scout the map faster. However, as the map goes on, the Eagle Scout does manage to eventually catch up and overtake the Scout Cavalry, and manages once again to be the first of the 2 to reach the 95% explored mark. So it looks like the Eagle is the more reliable explorer overall. But if you are someone who likes to explore the map nice and early, and you can't always rely on yourself to get it done, the biggest beneficiary by far of the auto-scouting feature does appear to be the Mongols, or anyone who benefits from that +2 team bonus line of sight. Anyway, you could probably keep doing races, and they might play out slightly differently each time. However, this was really just out of curiosity more so than a serious experiment, but I hope you found it interesting either way. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.